Hey, it's Whitney from Oracle for Startups. We have a special episode today. I am joined by Simone de Bruin. Simone is Associate Research Director working with IDC on European small business and startup strategies. Welcome, Simone.
Hi, Whitney.
So tell me, what kind of research do you typically oversee?
So within IDC, we look at the startup market from three perspectives. We look at it from a market sizing perspective. So how large is the startup market? What kind of segments do they operate in? What kind of verticals? Also, we look at emerging technologies that come out of these startups and also emerging segments. But we also look at it from trends and development side from the vendor perspective. So we look at how the major vendors are working with startups, how larger services firms are working with them, not only from a cloud perspective, for example, but also looking at how they work with them from a venture capital perspective. And then the third way that we work with startups is that we look at how we can help startups themselves go to market. Helping them with, for example, with market forecasting, helping them with the go-to-market, looking at how we can support them with maybe analyst briefings, those kind of things. So taking it from these three perspectives, I think we're covering the startup market from a very wide perspective.
That sounds incredibly comprehensive, and I'm really excited to take a look at the research you've done with Oracle for Startups. So how did you get involved with working specifically with the Oracle Startup Program?
Okay, so I think Oracle was already aware that they were going quite well, the program that they're rolling out, so that they've got rolled out, so the Oracle for Startups program. I think they get a lot of positive feedback from the startups they work with. At the same time, they were wondering, is there anything that we could do to serve them better? Is there anything that we can do from Oracle's side to help them go to market faster, scale faster, build faster? So they came to IDC and asked us if we could help them to find out if what they were doing, if they were on the right track with what they were doing, but also to look at whether there were things within the program that they could improve to support their startups even better. So I think that it's mainly coming from a learning perspective. Oracle really wants to learn and understand how they can help their startups and help them go to market even better with the help of Oracle, or with the support of Oracle.
Yeah, and what better way to learn how we're doing than to ask the startups themselves? So, how many startups participated in this study, and did they have anything in common?
56 Oracle startups participated in the web survey that we did. They were evenly distributed over all regions globally. So we had participants from APAC, but also from US, Europe, Latin America as well. And we did a web survey with them, asked them about various topics, about how they go to market, but also how they use technology, the business challenges they're facing. Next to these 56 startups that we interviewed through web surveys, we also spoke with 5 additional startups. We spoke with the CEOs to get a little bit more insight about what it is that makes Oracle Startup Program unique, what it is that they really like within the program, what it is they don't like within the program, because we don't want it all to be, we want to learn from it as well. And also to look at what Oracle could do to improve the program or the support they're giving to these startups.
Yeah, I can imagine. The report covers what startups need most and where they find it. I'm wondering if anything surprised you in the findings.
I think what surprised us most is how large the value, or how big the value is that a corporate startup program can bring to them. We asked, for example, what kind of companies they value, or what kind of support programs they value most. The corporate startup programs are really valued very high, more so than the venture capital support, more so than business angel support, research institutions. So it's really, I think, above and beyond what we would have expected. I know that you can say, well, because we interviewed participants of a startup program, it's very likely that they will rank this quite high as well. But these participants did not only just participate in a corporate startup program, they also had venture capital backing. They also work with research institutions. So it's not biased in that way. I think if we ask the participants, how do you value, which partner do you value most? The corporate startups programs came out with 70%. So that was really, really high.
Surprising to you, but very validating for us at Oracle for Startups. So what were the startups looking for when they sought out an enterprise partnership?
I think these startups are more and more looking for like a one-stop shop where they can get everything they need. Whereas we used to assume that if you use a corporate program, you use it for the technology offering that they give you. But it's not just a technology offering they like, it's also the business support they get, the marketing support they get, the economic benefits, even though it's not a venture funding they get, but they get economic benefits in the discounts they get, for example. So it's a different way of funding a startup, but closer to their own business. But it's really, I think, the one-stop shopping that they prefer most, because when we ask them what they appreciate in a corporate program, first ranks the business support they're getting from the vendor. And then second comes marketing support and go-to-market initiatives. And I think this was also confirmed by the interviews that we did with the CEOs, where they said that the value they get from being associated with a company like Oracle gives them so much business value that's really, really important to them. They couldn't do that if they were alone or if they worked with another type of partnership. It doesn't mean that they don't use other partnerships. It just means that they value this one quite high.
Right. So what you're describing is really a partnership between a startup and an enterprise. And I'm wondering, what do you think startups should know before they start working with an enterprise like Oracle?
Well, I think there's more a question that they don't know yet what a corporate partnership all could consist of. I think it's not the question of what they should know, but I think there's a lot of things that they don't know yet. The feedback we got from the Oracle, the participants in Oracle for Startups program is that Oracle goes above and beyond to help them in the way they go to market. So they have separate, for example, brainstorming sessions about product development. They help them with business planning. They help them get in front of clients. So those kind of things that are really important to these startups, besides the technology support. Most important business challenges they face is that they need to get the first customers. And as soon as they have the first customers and they start growing, they need to attract a solid customer base. It's not something that technology can directly help you with, but a large vendor, whether it's Oracle, Microsoft, or another one, can help you get in front of those client bases or get you within a specific vertical to help you position yourself.
Right. Many of these startups are running very lean. They don't have sophisticated business development teams or marketing teams, and having a partnership that supports with some of those attributes is a way that they can kind of 10x the results of the partnership. So I'm curious if you learned anything new about startups, or if you're seeing any evolution in how startups are working now that they're working with these big enterprise partners.
Well, I think this one-stop shop is really important to us. It's something that we haven't seen in the market before. It's something that we haven't really researched in detail before. But I can understand why it is important to them, because it is sometimes, and having this backup from a corporate program is important to them, because it is the easy access not only to a startup team, but also within the company to get the knowledge that you need, to get to the people that you need. So I think this one-stop shopping approach, where you're not only supported by technology, but also on a marketing perspective and a business perspective, is something that's really, really new to us, that we haven't really seen before. So the feedback we also got is that the support that these startups got from Oracle was really impressive as well. So they really say that Oracle seems to really, really like startups. They really want to see us succeed. And I think that helps in the communication. So there's so much that you can do from a corporate program perspective, but it's also the human touch, the human element into it. So in this case, the support system and the people working within the Oracle Startups team that really make a difference for these startups as well. because they feel that they can approach them at any time, any day, and they can ask any question, and the Oracle team will do whatever it takes to help them. So I think that helps a lot as well.
That's such an important point. We can automate until we're red in the face, but ultimately it's all about the human experience. So Simone, if people want to learn more about you or your research, where should they go?
You can always find all the information on the IDC site, and you can, there's a specific IDC LinkedIn page that we have for tech startups and tech scale-ups as well, where we publish all the new research that we have, and additional research from third parties as well. So we're not limiting it to IDC stuff only.
Great. We will include the link to that in the description on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me.